And in a little, we have our next guest with us, and the honor of the introduction is yours.
And indeed, it is an honor, listeners. I will introduce to you Freddy Matungulu Mbuyamu Ilankir. He is a presidential candidate for Congo. He's the son of an official of the Congolese civil service. He has a PhD in economics. He's been appointed to several advisory positions in government ministries in the country. He's also been a member of the International Monetary Fund in various capacities. He's been Minister of Economy, Finance, and Budget of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I cannot think of a more qualified candidate for President of Congo. Welcome, please, Freddy Matungulu Mbuyamu Ilankir to Conservative Commandos Radio Show.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor.
Well, I'm so glad that you put up with the way that I pronounced your name. I worked very hard at that.
No, you actually succeeded. You did it well.
I'm really impressed, and I am impressed. And when it comes to
well, I have to confess, Freddie and Rick, that I am an immigration attorney in my day job, and I have represented a client or two from Democratic Republic of Congo, and I know you have some experience there, Freddie. So I wasn't completely out of touch with the way things should be pronounced, but I am not an expert. I'm far from it. But Freddie,
you did very well.
Well, thank you for the compliment. But Freddie, let's talk about you. You are an impressive individual. You have accomplished so much in your lifetime. You don't look to be very old. I mean, I know on the radio the listeners can't see you, but I've seen you. I'm amazed at your level of accomplishment already. And here you have a dream for your country. Would you talk to us about what is going on in Congo, the top issues there, and what has brought you to the brink of running for president?
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. Things are really going very badly. You said that as an immigration official, you've had the opportunity of coming in contact with some people from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And I think they've told you one of the reasons why they decided to leave the country is just simply because everything is going so badly there. The economy is really badly managed. It's a place where I think if you're talking about corruption and the worst that it can get in any country, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, as we speak right now, is certainly one of those countries with the head of state and the whole government essentially embezzling everything that comes their way. So there's very little that is left to take out of the people of this country. The social services and everything that you can think of, infrastructure, the schools, the hospitals, everything has been destroyed in the last years. And as a result, you have the people that is in total despair. Now, one of the reasons, this is happening to this country is simply because, we've been independent for 58 years, soon to be 60. And this country has really never had, at the highest level of government, the head of state level, the people with the kind of sophistication, training, and experience, professional and otherwise, that you need to be able to keep a country together, to be able to put the country on a course of economic development and progress. This is really one of the reasons why things are going so badly. And, you've talked about my experience. I think I owe it to God to a large extent for everything that has happened to me.
Amen.
I've had the opportunity of coming to this country, doing a master's and a PhD, returning home as I should have been, and teaching at the university there. And, after that, working as an economist within the International Monetary Fund. As we speak now, I think I'm probably one of the very few Congolese with the type of profile that, we need to be able to bring the country from, back from the precipice, as certainly is the case today, and try to put it on a course of economic development. And that's the reason why I decided to take an early retirement from the International Monetary Fund and engage in politics and launch this presidential bid.
And this is quite the sacrifice for a person of your level of accomplishment. I mean, you've got a country, as you've described, with a number of issues that really strike at the survival of the people. These are basic things that will take quite an infusion of not just capital, but managerial direction in order to save the lives of these people who are seeking survival in a very unstable environment. And it's going to be a lot of work for you. And yet you seem to have that servant heart. You're grateful to God for all that you've obtained. And it seems like you just want to give back. I'm so touched and so encouraged to meet a person like you, Freddy. And I'm really hoping that you win your race. Now, I want to just touch on a couple of the appointments that you've had that qualify you. I know I wasn't able to say it all in the introduction, and I'd like you to talk about the experience that you've had in these positions. I'm going to list them all, and then you talk about what you think is most important. From 1986 to 1992, you were a professor, and you were actually appointed as a special advisor to the vice governor of the Central Bank of Congo. You've been an economic advisor to the Ministry of Budget and Planning. You've been a senior advisor to the Ministry of Transportation and Communications. You've been a senior advisor to the Ministry of Foreign Trade. You've been a coordinator of the advisory branch of the Ministry of Budget and a senior advisor and coordinator of the Council of Economic and Technical Advisors to the Prime Minister. And you've also been a senior advisor to the Ministry of Budget. That's enormous experience that you bring to the table. Tell me how you can use this to benefit your country, Congo.
Well, that's really extraordinary, as I think you pointed out. And I think the courage that I'm showing right now that is driving me is also coming from that experience, which, when I became finance minister, this was after taking the 2-year break from the International Monetary Fund. One of the things that I learned firsthand was that including in a country as deranged as the Democratic Republic of Congo, if you decide to do things right, we go to school to learn how to do things in many areas that are important to our lives here on Earth. And I think that if you do things as you learn them, of course, subject to adaptation depending on the context in which all these theories are being implemented, I realized that you will be able to achieve some of the most expected results. And in particular, when I joined the government as finance minister, coming from the International Monetary Fund, I saw an economy with an inflation rate of over 500%. And I'm saying 500%. Wow. And by the time I left the government, when I resigned my position, inflation had been reduced down to less than 10%.
That's huge.
That is correct. And prior to our joining the government, the economy had been in recession for about 2 decades. The first year we went there, 2001, over 2002, because I took the position in 2001, we were able to begin accomplishing modest growth of the economy. So that was a major lesson that I was able to learn, that, if you do things right with integrity and the level of expertise that is required, you will get good results, including in the Democratic Republic of Congo. But I think the other very important lesson is the following. Doing all that requires putting in place major reforms, and you need a strong political backing for these reforms at the highest level of government. And for us, the highest level is the level of the head of state. As a finance minister, I could only go so far in putting in place those reforms, and I did that for 2 years with the results that I have spelled out. But at some point, really, unless you continue benefiting from support from the head of state, I think it becomes impossible to continue with the reform effort. And that's exactly what unfortunately happened to me. I had a choice at some point after 2 years with these good results of either continuing to be in government, essentially enjoying the perks. You're the finance minister, you're signing all these government checks. And if you are unscrupulous, you're going to be getting rich no matter what happens to your country. My decision was, no, I cannot continue working here in this government if I'm not able to achieve the kind of results that I'm looking for. And so this time I decided that I was not going to go there just as an expert without any political clout. This is really the reason why I decided to go back, put together a political party, engage with opposition politics. And, the goal really is to make it all the way to the top so that we are able to give this country the opportunity to really create a critical mass of reformers that believe in the necessity of putting these reforms in place and, benefiting from support at the highest level of government, which I'm hoping to be able to provide to the country.
So, Freddy, you are really at the ground level of reform in your country. You have taken yourself from a position in government, and you have not only left that position because you disagree with the direction, but you have created your own political party, and we're going to continue talking about this, and now you're going to run for president. I am so impressed, Freddy, and I'm so glad that you're taking time to speak with us today on Conservative Commandos Radio Show. You are a source of encouragement to me, and I know you are to our listeners as well. Hold on, don't go away, Freddy. We're going to continue our conversation after this break. And listeners, we are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, American Political Radio, and AM/FM 24/7. I'm Anna Little, co-hosting today with producer Rick Trader, who's in the studios, and we are speaking this segment with presidential candidate for the country of Congo, Freddy Matungulu Mbuyamu Ilankir. Don't go away. You don't want to miss this next segment.
The Conservative Commandos Radio Show is the commander of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. We've established a front line of conservative leaders and ironclad patriots to revive the promise of America. There must be some kind of way out of here. We patriots have succeeded in securing the next 4 years of American prosperity, sovereignty, and liberty under President Donald Trump. But the fight is never over, and we must be forever vigilant. Drink my wine. Do you have a passion for American values? Do you believe in preserving the American dream? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network or around the world on the internet at ccrshow.com and ccrsnetwork.com. Check out our websites for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where even more newsmakers go to be heard.
This is J.D. Manier, co-host on the Conservative Commandos Radio Show. Are you among the millions of Americans who feel uncertain when it comes to their health care? We're happy to inform you that there is a solution, and that solution is Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of like-minded people that work together to pay for their medical costs. There are no networks, so you get to choose your doctor and hospital. Liberty Health Share allows you to easily decide how, when, and where you will access health care. It could be the best practical, moral, and economical choice for you and your family, starting at $107 a month for a single, up to $449 a month for a family. That's mom, dad, and all kids. This is the way healthcare should be. For more information, call 855-585-4237 or visit libertyhealthshare.org. That's libertyhealthshare.org and regain control over your healthcare costs. Together, we're changing healthcare for good.
I'm Sharon Engel, and I approve this message. Congressional District 2 is a winnable seat where Trump won. The reality is the president can lead, but he cannot do it alone. In Congress, we contend with the Republicans who often do not support what the American people mandated on Election Day. Republicans in D.C. could lose this golden opportunity, and sadly, the biggest beneficiaries will be the establishment and crony capitalism. America is closely divided, with Nevada on the front lines of this ideological battle. You can help. Give online at SharonEngel.com or mail a contribution to P.O. Box 17373, Reno, Nevada 89511.
Sharon is great.
America deserves better.
If you care more about sound ideas than negative sound bites, if you think it's time to end the bailouts, end the power of the special interests, and above all, take back the America we love, then please visit SharonAngle.com and contribute today.
Paid for by Sharon Angle for Congress.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world on the Internet, we're coming to you live from the CCRS studios. This is the Conservative Commandos Radio Show with your host, Rick Trader. The Conservative Commandos Radio Show, where the newsmakers go to be heard. Businessman there, drink my wine.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando Radio Show.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back to Conservative Commandos Radio Show with Rick Trader and Anna Little. If you would like to hear a rebroadcast of today's show, please check out our websites, CCRS Network and ccrshow.com. Also, please like us, friend us, and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. We are speaking this segment with the presidential candidate for the country of Congo, Freddy Matungulu Mbuyamu Ilankir. And Rick Trader, I know you have some questions for Freddy, so take it away.
Yes, Freddie, thanks for holding through that break. We do appreciate your time. And I had Anna introduce you because I would never be able to do the superb job of pronouncing your name the way that you did. But Freddie, again, thank you for holding through that break. We do appreciate your time.
The pleasure is really mine. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming, and it's an honor to have you with us. And I know you and Anna met today in Washington, D.C. at Grover Norquist meeting at the Americans for Tax Reform. And Freddie, I got to ask you this question. I Googled this and I found this out. It's 6,862 miles from Washington, D.C. to the Congo. You're running for president. Are you lost? What are you doing in Washington?
No, I'm not. I'm not lost. Of course, as a presidential candidate, the kind of presidential candidate that I am, is the one that understands that being in power means putting yourself under the obligation to deliver to your countrymen, and delivering to my compatriots in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Essentially means running an economy that is strong, in which there's a lot of investment that is being made, so that you can be creating jobs to these people, to create better living standards for them. And it means what? We are a country that is richly endowed with natural resources. People are saying that the natural resources of the Democratic Republic of Congo are valued at about $24 trillion. But, you need capital. You need entrepreneurs. You need skills to be able to transform all this into riches that can be either consumed locally or put on the international market, all the while creating jobs for the people of my country. This is the reason why from time to time I do travel abroad, and in particular to the United States of America, where we know that, you have people who can invest in the country if the environment is right. So the job that I'm doing, and I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to speak with you and through you, to many of these American entrepreneurs and people who have money who can consider investing in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I know that it takes creating the kind of environment that recognizes the rights of people to have their property protected. You have an environment, you need to have an environment where the rule of law is really effective and respected. This is what we want to bring back to the country. But beyond that, it's going to take, making sure that, the people are investing massively in the economy so that you have a dynamic economy, dynamic economic environment, and therefore the possibility of creating jobs for the people of that country. This is one of the reasons why I am there. But at the same time, as you know, I'm an American-trained economist.
Right.
It's important for me to make sure that, we have the contacts within the U.S. administration that, would be needed to take our political agenda forward. And that's one of the reasons, in fact, while I was so honored today to have to address the gathering of Americans for tax reform. As we know, this is a very important organization within the conservative movement here in this country, the United States of America.
Freddie, well, let me ask you, as part of what you would like to do is to possibly meet with President Trump. And, it seems like America has been trying to get its own economy moving again. And it seems like that President Trump is being successful in doing that. That our unemployment rate is down to 3.9%. That the unemployment rate of blacks and Hispanics is at record lows. Things are going good here. We are just about at a full employment economy. So is part of what you want to do and possibly take back to the Congo with you a model of what Donald Trump is doing here in the United States?
I think, let me say first that, we've got to commend the U.S. administration for this very impressive achievement. I was in this country as a student for a long time. And I always remember the time when unemployment was, around 4.5%. And I was really shocked, back in 2008 when unemployment went as high as close to 10% in this country. I have to say I was really shocked, because that's something in my experience as a student in this country I never saw. So it's really a great achievement for this country to come back to a level of unemployment that is a little more compatible, as far as I'm concerned, with the extraordinary talent of the people of this country. And the administration, I think, deserves commendation. And, I can only wish that, the program of recovery of the economy that is in place will continue. That there's a massive tax cap that was introduced by the president, and that is going into effect. My only, a bit, I would have put this, it's not an apprehension, but the recommendation would be that, we look at how, the impact of the tax cut on the deficit is being managed so that, we don't go back to the kind of situation where you have interest rates again going up because of,
Freddie,
yes.
not to interrupt you,
Yes.
but the way to do
Yes.
that is you cut government spending. That's how you
Yes.
bring.
Well,
You cut government spending. You gotta let. In my opinion, you have to let people keep what they earn. And the more that government takes, the more that money is taken out of people's pockets, the more that money is taken out of the economy. And so I think it has to be a hand in hand. Number one, you cut taxes. Number two, you cut government spending. And I think that's going to be a challenge for any government. And I'm sorry, we have to wrap up. So could you wrap up the interview here?
Well, I'm happy
to. Yes.
Go ahead, Freddie.
Go ahead, Ms. Little.
Go ahead, Freddie.
No, I really wanted to thank you, both of you, for this extraordinary opportunity that you've given me. I was able to talk about my goal. That is to try to make it all the way to the top of the Congolese administration as the head of state, And that is simply because I think that at that particular position, I will then create the kind of environment that businesses need to be able to revamp the economy and create jobs and other opportunities for the people of that country that have been suffering so much. And, if I have a wish to express, it'll be one of meeting, so that I can talk about my project to as many U.S. business leaders as possible. Because, let's face it, I went to school here, and to a large extent, what I am is, the result of the fact that I had been so much immersed in the culture of this country. And if there's anybody that I would like to see doing business in the Democratic Republic of Congo, to make sure that, there's security and the supply of key minerals to the United States, to make sure that this country can contribute to putting the Democratic Republic of Congo on a better course, which will be, I think, something that will provide more satisfaction to the leadership of the United States of America.
Well, Freddie, I don't think you can say it.
US.
Freddie, I don't think you can say it any better than you just did. You need to have cooperation with the United States of America and the country of Congo. You are the link between those two countries. God bless you for stepping up to take this enormous position as president of your country. We are rooting for you. We love the fact that you're a conservative fiscally and that you really are willing to give back to your people. It's a beautiful thing. We're going to follow along with your work in your new political party, Congo Nabisu, which is our Congo, CND. I can't wait to find out more about that, and we want to follow you. So you're going to come back to us, and you're going to give us an update. So Freddy
Matungulu, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Freddy Matungulu Mbuyamu Ilankir, thank you so much for joining us today on Conservative Commandos Radio Show, and come back and see us again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
And listeners, that was Freddy. I'm going to say it again. Freddy Matungulu Mbuyamu Ilankir. He's going to be, I believe, the next president of the country of Congo, if the current leader even lets there be an election. That's another story for another day. And listeners, we are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, American Political Radio, and AM/FM 24/7. I'm Anna Little, co-hosting today with the one and only Rick Trader, producer, who's in the studios, and we'll be right back with you after this break.